it was so consuming. And now I have so much more creative freedom, and we've flourished and grown so much since Walmart. And I'm so grateful now. Like, I'm grateful for Walmart, of course. Amazing experience, but it's not for everyone, and that's okay.
Building a business is tough, and doing it alone even tougher. Welcome to SHE Talks, your go-to podcast for raw, relatable, and ridiculously useful business advice. I'm Lisa Jones, and I'm both a mum and a serial entrepreneur, and I'm here to help share real stories and proven strategies to help you scale up your business. Let's do this together. Imagine being 12 years old and deciding, you know what? I'm going to launch my own beauty brand. Well, that's exactly what Fiona Frills did, and she hasn't stopped since. Now, before we dive in, you might notice today's episode has a different voice behind the mic. If you've been following me on socials, you know that I've had to take a short break to focus on my health. So today, Gabi is stepping in as your host, and she's in conversation with the powerhouse Gen Z founder of Frilliance, a skincare and beauty brand built by teens for teens. They talk about how Fiona went from filming YouTube videos at age 10 to building custom formulas, pitching to Walmart, and navigating the roller coaster of being deleted from 1,000 stores, only to come back stronger. That's not to say her success came easily. Fiona is also legally blind in one eye, has ADHD and dyslexia, and somehow still runs a thriving business, interviews influencers, grows her TikTok to 170,000 plus, and is now building an app for Gen Z girls to connect safely and creatively. This episode is for the founders doing it differently, the ones bootstrapping with big dreams. And if you've ever wondered whether you're too much or not enough, spoiler, you're exactly what the world needs. So grab your headphones and get ready to feel lit up by this chat. Fiona's energy is contagious, and her story proves that age doesn't matter when it comes to building something that matters.
Hi, everyone. I am so excited to be here today. I know some of you may know that Lisa has been in and out of hospital for the last couple of weeks, and we spoke this morning. She mentioned that she was interviewing Fiona. When I heard, I was so excited. I just told her to absolutely take a step back and relax, and I would love to host this interview because I have been following Fiona on TikTok and socials since we met actually in Vegas, which is a whole story for another day. We met at Shop Talk, but I'm so excited to have you here, Fiona. Welcome to SHE Talks.
So excited to be chatting. I cannot believe we met in Vegas, of all places. Good old Shop Talk. So excited to chat today.
Yeah, awesome. And thank you for jumping on. I don't know what time it is over there, but it's so great to have you on. You know, your story is so interesting. You told me a bit of it when we met in person. And since then, I've been kind of fangirling, following you. Your story is fascinating. And I would love you to start where it all began. You were 13, and when most kids were worrying about school and homework and drama with friends, you were starting to build your empire on YouTube and your brand.
Thank you. Thank you for the kind words. And yeah, no, I definitely had a very interesting childhood, to say the least. So I started out posting on YouTube when I was 10, which is crazy to look back on. I'm like, my voice has changed, my face has changed, everything's changed. Some things have stayed the same for sure, but I started posting on YouTube because I was homeschooled. I actually got pulled out of school when I was very young. And due to being homeschooled, I was kind of lonely and I was looking for people to talk to. And I just decided to start like recording on my computer, and I would film these videos. And my mom was like, Fiona, like, do you want to upload these? Like, what do you want to do with them? And I was like, I would love to upload them to YouTube. And so I started uploading them to YouTube. They were nothing special. They were like very bland videos, but I loved it. I loved it so much. And my journey, my content journey, really, it changed. And originally it was more like, you know, DIY videos. And then it started becoming beauty, skincare, lifestyle, hair care, all of it. And I was testing so many new products, filming these videos. And about at the age of 10, I started breaking out so badly. I was like, oh my God, what do I do? What's going on? Like, mom, help me. What's on my face right now? Like acne, irritation, all of it. And my mom was like, oh, it's probably just puberty. Like, you're kind of stuck with it. And I was like, no, there has to be something more to this. So I started researching the ingredients and the products I was using. And I discovered, oh my God, shouldn't be using these products, which is so unfortunate because I loved it. And then I was like, what if I take the money that I've made from YouTube and invest it into creating my own brand around beauty and skincare specifically for teenagers? So that is how the idea was born from a problem.
So that's crazy because most brands, or even teen beauty brands, they're dreamed up by adults, right, that have ideas and think that they can fill a gap, maybe not have been through that journey themselves. And I'm also noticing that in today's culture with TikTok and social media, so many teens are using brands that are like TikTok famous, but they are not meant for teens. They are meant for adults, mature skin, they post breakout, post puberty. And it's so nice to hear that your mum was so backing you in this process, especially to use money that you've obviously earned and worked hard for in something that could seem scary at the time. I love to hear it.
Yeah, totally. I mean, first there is, yes, there's so many older people who see a white space in the market and they're like, let's fill it. And there's really no like care or worry behind it. It's like, okay, let's just do this to make money. And mine was very much the opposite. I was like, I just really want to fill this need and fill this market because I relate so much with it. I am the customer. I am the person, and my audience was struggling with very similar things. So my mom's support meant the world to me. I mean, finding a lab and all of it was so exciting, but I could not have done it without my mom. I don't think any 12-year-old really could approach a lab without a parent, legally even speaking. So yeah, no, it was wonderful once I really connected with a lab and got to fully create these products. None of our products are white label, private label. They're all custom formulas and they're sent off to different testing labs as well. So yeah, no white label here. That's so common in the industry. It's actually crazy. But yeah,
especially with influencers, right? Like it's almost too easy to get a product, get your face and just chuck it on something that is white labeled because they are being made already from a lab. There's a couple really well-known labs in America that are really popular for white labeling celebrity brands, lipsticks, makeup, skincare, all of that. So it's really nice and refreshing to hear that you did it from scratch and as well at such a young age. And also, I would say early on in the influencer brand market.
Yes. Oh, there was no teen brands then. Zero. Like now I could name like a handful, but then there was none. There was zero zilch, which was very cool to be the first in the space. And also, speaking of influencer brands or celebrity brands that are very clearly just like, oh, they slap their face and their logo on it. I can't even wrap my head around doing that. Like truthfully, like, cause your audience knows. Your audience like loves you and wants to support you, but why would you put your face on something that you don't even really like? Like that's very common. It's like they try the product once and then boom, they put their face on it. Where I think like co-created products, like where an influencer and a brand really collaborate together and bring something to life is beautiful. But like starting your brand from scratch, aka just white labeling something and it being your own is just, it's ridiculous. And it's dying. Like too many people know about it, which is great. Yeah.
We see through it. And we can tell when a product is actually good now because there are so many really high quality products on the market. So you're legally blind in one eye, is that right?
It is. I wear contacts. I do. I wear contacts. And before anyone's like, how do you see the screen? So I discovered I was legally blind in my left eye and that I was super dyslexic and had ADHD all at the same time. It was like it was a nuclear bomb that went off when I was going into 4th grade. And it was brutal at first. I literally had to wear an eye patch on my right eye, on my good eye, because my left eye was shutting off. So I had to go through all this vision therapy, which is so expensive, just a heads up for anyone. I had to learn to like juggle. I had to learn all these weird things to help my eye like really like start working again. It was shutting off and the tracking was really off, which was weird. But in the end, I couldn't go back and change anything there, but it made me be able to overcome so many problems because that was challenging, especially at that age.
Wow. And also perspective, right? Because no pun intended, but what I mean is like you genuinely have something so significant and life-changing happening in your life that it kind of makes other problems, maybe even in your business or in your social life or in your influencer life, kind of feel much smaller compared.
Yeah, no, it's true. And it also prepped me to be able to do things differently, which I think you really need to be able to have as an entrepreneur. So you're so right. Perspective, it's great. And honestly, in so many ways, I actually like being dyslexic. Like I do things so like oddly. People are like, what? Like, I'm like, I don't know. It works for me. It works for me. And it's great.
I'm the same. I'm dyslexic too, and I have been for as long as I can remember. And I think it gives me some superpowers also. But there are things like Kindle has a font where you can make it dyslexic font. And I'm like, thank God, because I used to just not read books and now I love reading books. But I agree with you 100% and I resonate. I also love that your brand, please tell me if I'm making this up because I just kind of thought of it. Is your brand name come from the word resilience?
Okay, it's so funny you say that. So it actually comes from like Frills, like my last name, but I was like, okay, I want to make sure it means something. So it actually was like brilliance, but resilience, like it has really good association. So it was first my name, but I wanted to make sure it had some positive affirmation behind it. So that's great. I love that you thought of that. Yes.
Well, yeah, I mean, so for those that don't know, Fiona's brand is Frilliance. And I just thought during that little section of your eye and what you've been through, Frills is resilience. And I just love that name together, being resilient, because you have to be resilient as a business owner. Brilliance is also fantastic, but the fact that you can now also lean on that it's also resilient is pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I love that. I should use that more. Honestly, you just sparked a new campaign. We could do something around that. 100% people showing their resilience. Yeah.
100%. And so, okay, this is a perfect segue talking about resilience. I want to go back to Walmart. You mentioned that you were in 1,000 stores across America, and then suddenly you got an email, right, with the word delete or telling you that they needed to delete your product. So what was that exact moment like for you?
So, I'd like to talk a little bit about like the Walmart journey, because I think a lot of people, especially starting out, they want to get in retail because I think that's like the only way to really, really make it, which it's one of the ways for sure. But I do think retail is changing a lot in the way people shop and the way people expect things. Retail is just not aligned with it as much anymore. But when I first submitted to Walmart, I got a yes on the call, which was insane. I did like the presentation. I was like, oh my God, there's no way we're going to be launching in Walmart. Like I still didn't believe it until a year later, we actually had our products on the shelves. We originally launched in 420 stores. Then we got a store expansion and they picked up another SKU, another product, and that bumped us up to 1,000 stores and the added product, which was amazing. We were turning really well, which they have all these weird terms, like the turn rate, making sure you're selling well and everything. And then actually, frick, I don't think I could fully say, actually, no, I don't care. They can come after me. But basically right next to us, Mighty Patch was brought in. So we were living in acne care. It was not our beauty SKUs. It was our acne SKUs or acne care SKUs. So Mighty Patch was brought in right next to us. They had 2 pimple patches, I believe. And then of course they want to expand Mighty Patch. They're the bigger brand. They have bigger budgets. They can easily buy up your space. So therefore we got the email, we were being deleted, and then Mighty Patch took over our space. So that was crazy. That was honestly, I remember getting the email, and then my mom actually called me because I mean, come on, you know that my reaction is going to be like, oh my God. I got in my car and I was playing a Nicki Minaj song. It was like, God, I should know the name of it off the top of my head, but it was like reminding me. It wasn't like a rap song. It was like something more, a little more emotional than that. But it was like, this is just the beginning. Like, this is just the beginning. Like, there are so many different ways to be successful. And I had a really rocky relationship with Walmart because we didn't get paid for actually a year.
Whoa.
Insane. Misallocations, like insane stuff. And it was the most stressful time, truthfully. Like, I've never done
buybacks, right?
Insane stuff. We got some stuff waived, which we were so grateful for. Like they did collaborate with us on like that kind of stuff at the end. But regardless, it was so consuming. I really couldn't focus on anything else. Like everything was Walmart. It's like, what can we do at Walmart? What can we do here? What can we do here? And it was so consuming. And now I have so much more creative freedom, and we've flourished and grown so much since Walmart. And I'm so grateful now. Like, I'm grateful for Walmart, of course. Amazing experience, but it's not for everyone, and that's okay.
Yeah. There's a silver lining in everything. I truly believe that. And we can sometimes think that the thing that we're working on is everything. It's kind of like when TikTok got banned for 24 hours or blocked, and everyone was like, oh my gosh. But it also makes you realize there are new opportunities, there are new apps, like what next? And it kind of was that little nudge that you needed to then flourish in other areas, like you're saying. And you don't need them. You are an incredible brand without them. And to hear that you have just been able to pick up and keep on going just says so much about who you are as a founder, but also as a brand. And I'm sure your community would agree with you.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. And it's crazy because a lot of, especially older people, older men in the industry, if you're not in retail, you're nothing. You're literally nothing to them. And that is sometimes frustrating, but at the same time, like, their opinions don't matter. Like, their traditional legacy route isn't for everyone. And there's so many new ways to market, to grow, to sell, to create experiences for your community members, your customers. It's hard though sometimes, like, to talk to people. They're like, you're not in Walmart anymore.
Investors, right? Like, you can speak to an investor and they'll be like, so why aren't you in Walmart? Or they'll be like, so I don't understand, why are you focusing so heavily on TikTok, right? Isn't it going to get banned? Like, they'll just focus on what they know, and a lot of people, if they don't get it, they don't get it. And then you've got to move on and talk to somebody that gets it. I've learned that too. I've spoken to so many people who just do not get my product. They do not get what I do, and they don't understand how I sell it. And so I just say, that's fine. I don't mind. And I will find somebody who does believe in it, because I have hundreds of thousands of customers that believe in it. And so you've just got to kind of block out those non-believers and the people that don't understand your vision and path, right?
Absolutely. You are the only person who knows your business and knows what you need and what you want. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious, did you ever have a moment where you're like, oh, fuck this, I'm done? Because I have those moments, right?
I have them often. I'm not going to lie. Like, I have the moment of like, I don't have to do this. Like, I love having that though. It's because it's like, I could change my life in a second. Like, I could go move to Bali and live on friggin', I don't know, whatever, fruit, and not touch my computer. Like, I could do that. Like, legitimately, I could. So it's like, so can almost everyone. I mean, like, that's a little bit of a broad statement, but you can change your life. And so, like, I can drop it, but I don't want to. Like, every time I say, like, oh, I'm so done. Like, why do I do this? This is so frustrating. I'm like, well, do you really not want to do it? Then don't. And then I'm like, no. Like, I want to do it. I want to do it, you know?
You know what? I'm so glad I'm talking to you. It's giving me like a new wave of energy. For anyone listening, I hope you as well, because right now I'm going through the hardest period of my life in the business because of these tariffs, right? And they're challenging, but at the same time, I genuinely believe in my business and my product and what we're doing and building, and seeing customers rally us is like just so amazing. But as founders, we can't help but feel like we just want to, I could change my life. And it's funny that you say, like, I could just pick up and go to Bali, because I also don't have kids. And I don't know if you own a house, but I don't own a house. So
no.
Like, when I think of worst case scenarios, I would categorize myself in the I'm very fortunate pool of like, I actually don't have anything to lose. I don't have a house to lose. I don't have a family to lose. No matter what, they'll be supportive. So both of my sisters and my mum and my dad are all in Bali at this very moment.
Oh my God.
Okay, I'm sorry to say this, but they all do not really have a job at the moment.
Yeah.
They all choose their own life. My dad works very hard for him and my brother's business, but they pretty much automated it. So that's just because they're really smart. My sisters work for themselves and kind of just work on their own agenda, and my mum is retired. And so seeing them all in Bali, I'm like, I could choose that life also. I could at any moment just choose to live doing what I choose to do without an e-commerce business. But then I remember why I'm doing this. And that's what sets us apart from other people in general. Founders are a different breed, I believe. We have different,
100%.
Have a different brain makeup. And
crazy. No.
Right? We choose the hard route because we know it's worth it, but also we're determined and we do not want to stop. And so I completely resonate with everything you're saying, because I have those moments where I'm like, I could choose a different life, but we choose this life because we want to, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's true.
You could easily just become a full-time influencer on TikTok and make big bucks on.
I think that thought, don't even get me started on that thought. I'm like, oh, I miss those brand deals. I miss those brand deals. Yeah. It's so easy. It's so like, I'm sorry, you guys. Like it's pretty easy. Yeah.
And I don't know, we don't have the creator, whatever you call it in Australia, where you get paid for views and all of that. But I just think about it all the time, how, USA people anyone in the USA could just make a lot of money on TikTok getting views. That's an option. But then again, you're still relying on someone else. You're relying on another platform. You're not building your own thing, which is what we're doing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And so, okay, what's your team like? How many people do you have in your team? Are you mainly contractors? Do you have employees? What does that look like?
There's 2 full-time employees, which I'm one of them. Woo! Overtime though, I count as like 3 employees in my mind. I'm like, okay, I'll answer emails at like 1 a.m. I'll do whatever it takes. Yes, absolutely. You don't really turn it off. And then we have a lot of different contractors. We work with over 20 different contractors, which is honestly wonderful. I think that there's so many ways you can automate what you're doing with AI, honestly. And it's just more cost effective when you're not a huge company. Like I need to save my money for like marketing, for productions, and for like giving back to my community. Like we love doing giveaways. We love doing events. So I have to cut costs in some ways and do that. Yeah. No, I love contractors. I love the girlies we work with.
I couldn't agree more. We have the similar model in CMY Kids, although we do have 2 full-time employees now. But I would say generally we've always just relied on contractors, our designers, everyone who helps us pretty much in the things that I don't need to have someone full-time. Great, fantastic, much cheaper. We've got a full-time content creator in the USA, but he's a contractor. When I say full-time he posts every day, but he works for 5 or 6 different companies, and he's the face of our business. So I'm totally on board with that. And again, you said you've got to focus and put your budget into marketing. And now I'm excited to talk about the marketing aspect of your business, because for everyone that knows me knows that organic socials is my jam. I am obsessed with it. I love TikTok content. Just to give context to you, Fiona, my brand CMY Cubes on TikTok, we have 2 accounts totaling over, God, I'm going to butcher this, over 250,000 followers. And we have had I did the math yesterday because we're in a lawsuit. That's a story for another time. But we have had over 350 million views in the last 2 years, which is amazing. And so I am very, very big on get your organic socials sorted, post on TikTok, do things that are different, get out there, do some guerrilla style marketing, and don't just be boring. And I'm also an advocate of not relying on Facebook ads, because that can be very, very scary.
I agree with you fully. Everything you just said. The reason why I say marketing budget is like I put like different things we do for our community as like a marketing expense, because I just love them and I want to support, like that is like in some ways. Anyway, but when it comes to actual content, I fully agree with you. Organic all the way. Recently, we've experienced an insane amount of growth. We started at 30K at the beginning of this year, and now we're at 170,000, and our engagement is through the roof, like actually insane. So yeah, no, I fully agree on just being creative and honestly listening to your audience. Like I think people say that all the time, but for example, we have a community on a platform right now. We have over 32,000 active members, and I really love listening and talking to them and gathering data on like what they love, what they don't love, and really like trying to absorb it and understand like, okay, what can we do that will excite them, that will get them engaged, and that they can be a part of. So something that we actually did that really boosted our growth was work with the Glow House. So I worked really closely. The Glow House is also a content house. I was like,
for the Australians, just give a quick rundown on what a Glow House is.
Yes. So it's a Gen Z and Gen Alpha girl content house, and it's based in LA mainly. They do like different ones like all over the United States. Like they rent different houses, but all the girls have, I think, a collective following of over 50 million, which is like insane. And they are so so popular when it comes to like my target audience, which is like the Gen Z, Gen Alpha. So I decided to contact actually the influencer who started the content house. And then she put me in touch with her team and we started to partner together. And I actually got to do the event and like sponsor the event, do interviews, all this stuff for free because I traded my work. I built I helped them a lot and I loved helping them. They're a wonderful team and it was so exciting and so cool to see everything come together. We hosted an event, the Glow House launch event. We had over 400 like influencers. The collective following, I think, was over like 400 million, something insane. Oh. And maybe it was 200 million. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but insane. They're like, yes.
Once you pass 100 million, you're like, well, it doesn't matter, 100 to 300, you're in the millions. Like.
Yes. Insane. And we did interviews. I had the idea, I'm like, what if I interview these girls and ask them questions around like social media, around bullying, around confidence, around style, and how they found themselves and how they're continuing to find themselves? Because there's so many teenagers who watch these girls, but a lot of the influencers don't post a ton of talking content. And I was like, why don't I just really like get to know them? And I love getting to know people. I love getting to know you. I love getting to know so many different types of people. It's very exciting. And I knew that our audience would really resonate with knowing more about these influencers. So that's where the interviews started to stem from. And I was like, oh my God, let me do more and more and more. So now we're doing a lot of different events and talking with these influencers, getting them a part of our community, building products with them. It's really exciting. And it was very affordable because it's all organic.
Sometimes you just need someone to look at your business and tell you exactly what to do next. That's where our quick wins calls come in. In just 60 minutes, we'll deep dive into your brand, your numbers, your marketing, and we're going to find those small but mighty tweaks that can make a huge difference in your sales. If you feel like you're spinning your wheels, then let's book a call and find your next quick win together. Head to shecom.co to book your free call today.
Yeah.
So, okay, I just want to say a couple things that come to mind. Firstly, for those that are hearing this and are like, oh, wow, that sounds crazy. How did you even think of that? So, yes, Fiona comes from an influencer background. That does not mean she had special privileges to partner. It means that she thought of the idea because she had a different perspective to most marketers. She's coming at this from an influencer, social, TikTok, Gen Z, Gen Alpha marketing angle first. And that's what I tell most people to think about today, because even though your audience may not be Gen Z or Gen Alpha, this is the direction social media is going. And so they are leaning into the platforms, are leaning into this algorithm for across all ages. And it doesn't matter who's watching, they're wanting that type of content, what that person thinks, what they feel, their story. That's what is gauging attention. And I always talk about this on stage or in any of my talks, is that TikTok is a content creator first community. It is not an advertising tool. Yeah, community angle. And your socials has done that.
And that's what you have to do to succeed as a brand. I think we've seen it time and time again. Like, think Duolingo, for example. Like, they're doing crazy stuff. There's another company. It's actually more of like an AI platform. It's called Cluely. Their marketing's interesting, but like, it works. It works. They get tons of views.
Coach is doing it. I mean, some of the big brands. I've shared this a few times, but Sour Patch Kids does it really well.
Yes, I've seen that.
Insanely good brands that are nailing it.
Yes, because you have to be different. You cannot post this is my ingredient in the product. Like, they don't care. No one's buying a product because of an ingredient. They're buying it because of a feeling, because of an association, because of an actual connection. And going viral, you need to be able to go viral to be successful as a brand today.
They're buying a story and they're getting a free product. Mm-hmm. That's how I see it, right? They're buying into the community. They're buying into the story of the brand, and that comes with product. So
really,
if you go onto Fiona's TikTok at Frilliance, Frilliance, you'll see all of her videos in the past like month, many months. They all have thousands, like tens of thousands, if not hundreds, if not millions of views. Every single one nonstop. So have a look at her content and see what we mean and what we're talking about. But this is a great example of doing things, shaking it up and doing things differently, but doing what the people want, meeting your customers where they are, literally. Mm-hmm. I mean, in your case, it's at these events, right?
Totally. And something we also started to do was really get them involved in the interview questions and who they want me to interview and talk to. So like they will literally in our community, they'll literally type out the questions they want me to ask them, which honestly makes my life easier. I'm like, yes, you guys did all the research for me. Thank you. And they get to like have their favorite influencer answer the question, you know? So there's so many creative ways to get them like really involved. Yes, exactly. That was my goal. I was like, how do I get, because we did giveaways as well, which performed really well. Is like giving away one ticket to one of the events, and then they can get a +1 so they can bring their mom or their best friend, whoever. And I mean, that's a low cost, like overall. And I mean, compared to like Facebook ads, which you talked about for a second, I hate ads. It doesn't work for everyone. It doesn't work for everyone. Doesn't work for most. Anyways, there's so many ways if you really start thinking like your customer, like, okay, what do they really like? Describe them, try to get as much data on them as you can as well. So you can really like process it and start thinking like them. And then you can make decisions kind of for them. And you know, like, oh yeah, like they're going to love this.
Yeah, God, I'm absolutely obsessing over this because this is everything I believe in and teach. And yes, Facebook ads is such a trap because if you can get comfortable. It doesn't work for most people. They feel like they want it to work for them, so they'll keep spending until one day they think like it's just going to flip. But
which ad agencies are evil and they try to make you believe that. I also want to throw out there, I have dealt with those.
I'm anti-agency and most people know that about me. But I think the thing is that when you rely on something like Facebook ads, that is kind of, not only is it dating, but it is becoming so expensive, and also something can switch. Like you can get your account hacked. You can literally, like anything can happen. And then if you don't have a community that you've built that is strong, that is backing you, that is just sitting there waiting for your posts to come up on socials, and it doesn't matter what platform. It can be on TikTok, it can be on YouTube Shorts, it can be on Instagram. If they're on your socials, they will see your content. Not necessarily if they're a follower, but if they're engaging with your content, then they'll get fed more of your content, and then they'll back you no matter what. You know, you and I are on the same exact page on this, but I think you're a great example of leading from the front and doing things differently. And that's going to keep you alive for so long. I mean, forever, compared to brands that are not even posting it all on socials and TikTok.
I don't understand how a brand could even begin to do that. I don't understand. I also don't understand the brands who don't build out like communities and really good ways to communicate constantly with your supporter of your brand or your customer supporter, meaning like possibly future customer. So yeah, no, I think it's so important and huge. And also being able to like pivot is so huge as well. Cause something that we're working on right now is actually an app that's going to live in the App Store. It's going to be the ultimate teen girl destination. So we're bringing together all the things that we know these girls love and want and putting it all in one place and really gamifying it and making it so these girls can like build connections, grow, learn, connect, co-create on products, have a say in what we're developing, and truly be able to make like safe friendships, because there's not a lot of safe places to make friendships online, like TikTok, Instagram, sure, but you never know who's hiding behind a screen, especially at like a younger age. It's easy to fall into a bad trap, but I'm really excited about that. So that's something like new and different that I don't think enough people are actually tapping into, because AI is making so many things possible, especially when it comes to app creation and building things. So very, very cool.
You know, most people go and create a Facebook group for their community, or it could be a Discord channel. It could be on Instagram where you do subscriptions or whatever that looks like, on TikTok as well. You're taking it to that next level and building an app for them. So like a mini Frilliance social media app for them to engage not only with each other, but with your brand, and feel like they almost have a stake in your business just by giving you insights and feedback. So they feel that want and need to become part of that community and the bigger picture.
Yeah. And I mean, they do have a say, like they fully do, which is it's wonderful. And as I get older also, it will be so helpful to really be able to like listen and create products for them, because I'm 21 now. Like I'm much different than a 12-year-old, like for sure. So having a really strong community is amazing. And yeah, I'm really excited. I'm all into digital things because it's so amazing how you can build it relatively quick and it can be really affordable as well. Like I know firsthand, like productions are so expensive. Like you're paying for things 6 months, 4 months out, and it's hard. It's hard. And then also tariffs. You were talking about tariffs earlier. Like all of it. Like physical products can be very challenging. We're going to continue to launch new products. We have a launch coming in December, but also focusing on digital and what we can do there is wonderful.
And are you guys facing any troubles with the tariffs at the moment? We did talk about it at the beginning, but your stuff is made in America, right?
Correct. Yes. So all of our beauty and skincare SKUs are made in actually California. Our pimple patches are from China though, but we've had a huge stock of them because of actually Walmart deleting. We had a huge stock. So that was, I guess, a good thing that Walmart did. It prepped us for the tariffs, but we've not had too many issues right now. We'll see where things are at here soon.
We know it's very tumultuous at the moment. Nobody knows what's happening and where this is going. But it's interesting for me to hear Fiona mentioned that it's not a big social topic right now in the US on social media, is that most of the biggest carriers in the world, I believe it's across 30 countries, have stopped shipping to the US. So you being in the US as an Australian here, hearing that you're not fully across it and you didn't even know that was happening
is crazy.
It is blowing my mind.
Yes. No, we were talking about this earlier. I'm like, oh my God, I haven't seen anything. Like, mind you, I'm not like sitting on a news site refreshing the page, but
on TikTok, right?
Nowhere. Yeah.
And I guess it goes to show you how impactful this is to us here in Australia or even small businesses elsewhere in the world. But, they won't see an effect, I guess, there for a while until people run out of stock. But again, silver linings, you have that stock. That's really good to hear. And you guys are doing incredible things. I also just want to touch on the fact that you're the face of your own brand. I have a content creator that works for me that does all of our content, and he's like the color nerd and everyone knows him. And so how do you find being the face of your brand, and have you thought about replacing you as the face to kind of, well, not only to avoid, I guess, founder reliance if you do want to sell the brand one day, which I don't think is necessarily a problem. Like, look at Hailey Bieber, she sold Rhode and she's still the face, right?
Oh, she's the only reason Rhode is successful. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I guess it could be very tiring.
Yeah. So, what's interesting is, so we went through a period where for about 2 years, my face was not on the Frilliance platform, and we were hiring influencers. I had about 100 that were posting 3 videos every month that included Frilliance. So like, I was emailing people and I was hopping on calls with the influencers, going through ideas, getting to know them, but I was very much more behind the scenes. Now, in many ways, I feel like I can control what goes viral and what doesn't, because directing someone and like telling them these little tiny details, I don't want to do that to an influencer. I hated when people did that to me. I was like, oh my God, especially big brands, because they give you a script and they're like, this is I'm like, okay, like put it down. I don't want to read the script. So yeah, I think there's definitely problems with it. Like, in some days I'm like, oh, I don't want to film, or like I'm exhausted from working and I'm like, oh, I don't really want to film right now. But I think right now where we're at, I'm totally happy with it. And I think we can shift things. We can bring more people into our content, because we do have a lot of influencers in our content. That's a lot of like the interviews. So like, I consider that like collaborating, being able to bounce off other people. But I would love to bring on more like teen influencers to the team, so it's not just me as the face. For the time being, I'm free. So it's great.
Nice. Yeah. You're doing fun. You're traveling a lot. You're going to all these different events. And that sounds amazing. Okay. So when you think of success beyond numbers and revenue, because that doesn't mean anything unless you're extremely profitable or you're looking to exit, or, you're trying to build an empire, or in fact, you want to just keep building it to a point where you feel either comfortable to stop or you just want to keep growing. Other than that, what does success mean for you personally as Fiona, not the influencer, not the business owner?
Yeah, I would say always making people feel good and feel important and feel appreciated and feel like they're capable. Because when I was younger, so many people looked down on me. They thought I was stupid. They thought I was like never going to do anything. Like, I was the epitome of like the class clown in almost every single way. And especially like going through that being a teenager, that's like partially what's made me so passionate about Frilliance and led me to not giving up, is because of that like need to make underrepresented people feel like way more appreciated than your average, I guess, brand or person. And then there's also the element, like we just actually, I know I'm going into business, but like this ties into it. So I grew up doing social media, and there's a lot of people who also take advantage of people in different spaces. I mean, that's across the board, but especially in the influencer space. So I've had multiple different managers, and actually we just launched a platform. It's called Aurelia. It is a AI powered talent manager, and anyone and everyone has access to it. So micro Aurelia, or the whole thing.
No, just Aurelia. Like
Aurelia.
People can use it.
Yes, anyone can use it for free. So I can send you like a link later and whatnot. But so yeah, anyone can use it for free. We do have premium packages, but a lot of the features that are wonderful and so helpful and so needed they now have access. Micro influencers have access to this. So it's aureliatalent.com. Not O. It kind of sounds like an O sometimes, but yeah, I just love helping people who I think deserve, that's very fulfilling to me. I love helping people who I think have a harder time, which is micro influencers. They don't really get that much attention. They have all these questions and no one takes them serious. And then teenagers, especially teen girls, they go through so much. You get it. It's being a girl in general, but being a teenage girl, I'm we deserve things that really help us. And that makes me happy. I love helping people.
Oh, I love hearing that. I mean, that's what we're doing at SHEcom. That's everything we are working towards, is helping people and creating a community for women that can learn and grow and kind of get out of that holding pattern and not be lonely, and show them what we've done to avoid mistakes, or even mistakes that we've made, and also succeed. So I just love to hear that, because I resonate with that so much. And it's one of the main reasons why I even found SHEcom in the first place, was because I was looking for that connection and that next step to not be lonely. So yeah, I mean, that's amazing. And I get last question for you. Looking back, if you could sit 13-year-old Fiona down, what would you tell her?
Oh, God, so many things. I would say something I've always struggled with is overthinking. So I would tell her that if you take the action, you'll feel so much better than sitting there trying to overthink, dissect every little problem, every little thing. Worrying, it really does no good. It's so hard to say that in the moment, especially when you're frustrated or sad or upset. But being able to just sit down, take some action, you'll feel so much better versus sitting there staring at a wall being oh, but this. It's stop overthinking, Fiona, is what I would say.
Oh my God, I love that. Stop overthinking, just do it, get on it, and you trust me, it'll all be good.
Yes.
Thank you so much. This has been, honestly, we could chat for about 5 hours, and I hope that we can chat again soon. But thank you so much for joining on the podcast. This was honestly so exciting for me, and I'm honored to have been speaking to you. For those that are listening, if you're interested and you like the content, feel free to subscribe, whether you're on Apple or Spotify. You hit that follow button, and that way you'll be notified when the next episode of She Talks drops. But yeah, thank you so much, Fiona. So excited to chat to you, and hopefully see you soon.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of She Talks. I hope today's conversation sparked ideas, gave you strategies you can put into action, and reminded you that you're never alone on this journey. If you loved this episode, head over to shecom.co for today's show notes, exclusive freebies, and special offers from our sponsors. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe so you never miss a future episode. Until next time, keep showing up, keep building, and most importantly, keep talking.